Anthony Sullivan is an architect based in Brooklyn whom I had the pleasure of hanging out with on one of my group botanical excursions to Costa Rica this past year. A plant lover since he was young, Anthony shows us his edited plant collection and shares how you could transform your room into a green and serene live-work space, starting with just a few cuttings and a propensity to propagate. And oh yeah, there's no hard-to-get, rare plants needed to bring the outdoors in.
I'm Anthony. I'm an architect in Brooklyn, and we're in Crown Heights North. I've been in here almost 7 years.
I feel like architecture and plants go hand in hand, but is that always the case?
Maybe not always, but a lot of the time, I think, yes. But I've always, I guess, been into plants. I went to the botanical garden when I was growing up a lot and was part of a bonsai group when I was like a child. In my 20s, I was working a lot, didn't have a lot of time to pay attention to plants, but then when I moved back to New York from London, which was about 7 years ago, I started really building a collection, I guess. There's a bunch of philodendrons and pothos that are all propagated from a couple of plants I got 7 years ago, I guess.
Now, is this climbing up on the wall itself?
Yeah, it did start climbing up.
I won't tell the landlady.
So that's one of the original, I haven't moved that one in a couple of years, but that's one of the original philodendrons I had in here, and most of the other ones come from that one.
Isn't it funny when something is doing so well in one location, you're like, I'll never move that ever again?
Yeah, so I haven't repotted it in several years. I'm afraid to take it down and move it.
Now, do you do any type of trimming whatsoever, or you just kind of let it?
Yeah, I have to trim them a lot. So I'll cut the runners off, I guess. And I used to propagate those, but it's become too much to do that.
Yeah, you do have a limited space, but I love this because here's your workspace right over here, and you're just going to be staring at this all day long.
All day.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. This is actually flowering.
Yeah, it's like the third or fourth time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Little parlor palm. That's one of my favorites. That one I've had since I've been in here, but it's done well. This one is actually propagated from one I have in my bedroom, but I've propagated them so much they haven't really gotten too big. But a bunch of clippings from those were all in little glass jars that I've kept and replant every now and then, but whenever my family's here, they take a lot of it. Every one of these philodendrons is from the original one.
Wow, good for you.
And there's the pothos in the corner was the original jade pothos. So all the jade pothos are from that. And then the silver pothos, I actually had they shot a movie in my apartment and they left this silver pothos. So all of those are from that one.
Oh, cool. They shot a movie in your apartment?
Yeah, it's Joaquin Phoenix film. They shot in here.
Oh my gosh.
This was his apartment in the movie.
How did it get scouted?
So apparently this block is really popular with film scouts.
Yeah.
So some HBO shows have done some of the other buildings. And Joaquin Phoenix was supposed to be kind of an art figure, so they were looking for something minimal. Someone told them about this on the block, that maybe this house would be nice. They came, they looked, and it ended up being a little too minimal for them, so they had to get a bunch of furniture. But yeah, they came and looked and decided to shoot, this is his apartment in the film.
And all you got was this plant?
They left some books, they left this plant, and they'd left a jade plant, I believe, as well.
Okay, so they had some taste.
Yeah, but this one this was a cutting from Mexico City, but it collapsed, so I chopped it up, and that's why I have all these jade everywhere.
Very nice. And so here you have your little cacti collection.
Yeah.
And some more jades.
This jumping cactus was collected from California, and they just fall off all the time. So I try not, there was one that was a little big, but it's dangerous.
Don't want to back into it. You always see those photos with the bike riders.
Yeah. I've had some issues with it, so I keep them small now. But
these are great. So it looks like you have a lot of repeat plants, but it's just from propagating and
Yeah,
propagating?
so there was one of these, and now there's a bunch of them. There used to be, actually, these are like 6 different propagations that I just put all together. So this was just one that I put in one pot, but then the other 2, this was like 3 or 4 that
Gorgeous.
I put together.
And
Yeah.
all your jades. It looks like you're getting ready for a plant swap.
Yeah, I have, like, I'll put them out on the stoop and people come by and take them, but I do like to keep a bunch of them for a while, and then I'll just wait until I like one,
Yeah.
and then I'll pot a few that I like, and then I'll maybe get rid of the rest or give them away.
Good for you. Are these all the same? All the same?
Yeah.
Wow.
All the same philodendron. This one was like 12 feet long. I just chopped up, and there's barely anything left, but these guys are fairly recent philodendrons.
Philodendron billietiae.
Yeah.
And this one's like a really silver cultivar. Don't know what cultivar that is,
I
but
think
it's
it's
very silver.
Syndapsis something or other.
Yeah.
But that's from this plant over here.
Oh, okay.
That one was collected from a cafe somewhere, so that was a cutting I took, and now there's a few other propagations of it.
This is phenomenal.
This is my favorite. I had a little like pinky finger sized cutting that I took from California from someone. And now this is, after 7 years, what it's become.
That is phenomenal. I mean, anybody who is into plant propagation would just really appreciate that, of how much it's grown. And it's one of those ones where it's probably going to be impossible to repot.
Well, yeah, it's become, I can't really do anything with it. It's hard to water because I have to leave it there and just water it, so you can see the grime coming up on the bottom, but I should repot it soon, but it's going to be a beast to try and repot.
Now, is this a Natal plum?
It is.
Beautiful structure, huh?
Yeah. I had repotted it a couple times recently because I think I wasn't watering it that much, but it was getting a little too much water. So it was in between underwatered and overwatered. So the leaves are a little like crinkled up, but then it's yellowing a little bit. So.
Yeah. And here we have this like some kind of weird Sirius. Is this like a monstrose Sirius, or it's turning monstrose?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a monstrose. It's the cutting I also got.
And this is is this another cholla?
That's, I think, the
Cholla?
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, cholla. And it used to be about this tall, but everything kind of stuck to something else.
And this looks like a minute jade. Wait, no, this is an elephant.
Yes, it's an elephant.
Plant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That one I actually picked up at a plant truck in South Carolina.
Oh, nice. Plants have traveled with you.
Almost all of them have traveled from somewhere as either cuttings or small little things, like the jade from Mexico.
Yeah. Now, how about this Strelitzia?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it. It's kind of in the way all the time. It's too big. It's too tall. So the leaves don't really open up all the way anymore. But
This feels pretty warm, but what does this face?
this is south, yeah.
South
so it
facing,
gets sun all day.
Yeah.
I mean, the windows get sun, but I did have it back here before, and it seemed to be doing better, so maybe I'll put it back further away from the windows.
My experience with these is at some point it starts to kind of fall down or break, and then it becomes kind of annoying because it's just like hanging over your head.
Right. It has done that. So it has leaned towards the sun a little bit, but I've repotted it and tried to correct it, but now it's started to lean again. So, I don't know.
I love the casings of your windows.
Yeah, those were original to the house.
They do not make it like that anymore, do they?
No.
You could push furniture in here to make basically a sill.
Right.
It's not like you have sills in the same way that you'd normally have a sill.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I put these little storage cabinets in there.
Yeah. Well, it gives you a much deeper sill.
Right.
which you wouldn't have before.
It does mean I have to move everything to open the windows, but during the winter it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
They tilt back so I can get a little bit of air. But
Now I noticed that there is a garden outside. Do you get a chance to
Yes.
garden outside now too?
a little bit. I help. So the woman that lives downstairs, during the summer, she's in the garden every morning at 6 a.m. And it is pretty lush. She tends to it very well. Last year,
I saw it on Google Maps. I like go
you
Street View.
saw right.
Street View.
She's got a little magnolia tree in the center there, some roses.
Well, thank you so much for taking us around your humble abode. This is your live-work space. It's just magnificent to be able to be enshrouded in so much greenery and sun, despite the fact that it is very bitter outside, very cold.
Right. It's pretty nice and toasty up here.
Yes,
The
it's
sun.
warm and green in Anthony's place.
We'll be heading to Costa Rica and Thailand on our next group botanical excursions. So if you'd like to join us, be sure to head over to homesteadbrooklyn.com and click on Botanical Tours under the Learn tab to sign up. Now, if spots are all sold out, you could add your name to the waitlist and let us know where you'd like to head to next in our survey, which will be on the website, in the video's description, and in the pinned comment below. We'll also be back here with more great botanical content, so stay tuned and be sure to hit the like button and notifications bell so you know when we launch the next video. Thank you again, and see you soon.